At the end of your audiobook, Ask Gary V, you said something, hit me in the face in a good way, that you never met your granddad or something, and that played a part in the way that you document.
Yes.
Curious to know, how much does that still play a part in your day-to-day decisions, and why does so few people really get that? I never got to meet my granddads either, and I was like, shit, it really affects me, so that's my question.
I think it...
So, it's really early. Far too early than I'd like it to be, but exciting time. Waiting for the one and only Dan Von Hoff to come and pick me up, because we're going to see Gary Vaynerchuk. Gary V!
On this episode, the legend stops by.
So, Daniel, for our Seaside viewers, what's your new 2018 goal we were just chatting about?
I'm gonna Crash Bandicoot top 100 player.
What did you just finish?
Completing it.
What time did you just post?
A couple of weeks ago, I finished Crash Bandicoot 1 in 2 hours and 2 minutes, the whole game. So I'm gonna aim for an hour and a half and hopefully crack like the rankings, the worldwide rankings.
It's
top 100.
It's such a great idea. I think you can actually do it. Dude! We have to.
Taco Bell.
We have to, Daniel. Daniel, stop everything. Gary Vaynerchuk, sorry mate, we can't see you today. We are getting Taco Bell. We have to get Taco Bell on the way home. We're in.
Co-founder of Vaynermedia. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand up and give a massive Australian welcome to Mr. Gary V.
What up, Brisbane? Hey! Sit. Let's do this. For me, it's optimism and gratitude and positive mindset. Like, it's really interesting. To me, life is pretty binary. It's either black or white. It's either yes or no. And the one that matters to me the most is you're either on the offense in your life right now, or you're on the defense. You're either coming up with reasons why not, all this technology, all this stuff, why not, or why yes, all this technology, all this stuff. You're looking at things and you're making a decision. And so for me...
At the end of your audiobook, Ask Gary V, you said something, hit me in the face in a good way, that you never met your granddad or something, and that played a part in the way that you document.
Yes.
Curious to know, how much does that still play a part in your day-to-day decisions, and why does so few people really get that? I never got to meet my granddads either, and I was like, shit, it really affects me, so that's my question.
I think so few people think, I don't think people understand, I think people think I just talk. Like, in 50 years, they'll understand that I meant it. Like, I care about my legacy, that's why I think about it. Like, I only care about my legacy. When I made $100,000 a year, I achieved my only financial goal that I ever had. Somewhere around 13, I was like, it'd be really cool to make 100,000. You know, like, when you're coming from humble, that seemed big, you know? So, that was it. Why? Because I always felt something in the middle of my stomach that I had something. I care about my legacy. I love that my great-great-great-grandchildren are literally watching this right now. I'm long gone, but they're watching this. Hey, Jeremiah. You know, and so, I mean, that's cool. I think it's super neat. Like, I think I have a lot to give. I think I've impacted. How many people here think, and don't make me feel good, how many people here truly think that I've impacted them in a positive way? I mean, look at that. And so, like, but I'm not going to be able to do that for my great-great-grandkids. But now I am. Because if I can do it to you, I can definitely do it to them, because they're going to watch everything. Imagine there was film like this. Imagine, how many people watch Daily V? Thank you. Could you imagine if Daily V was about your great-great-grandmother? You know how fun that would be? You'd be like, oh shit, I do that same thing that she, like, you know, it's so cool watching my daughter do things that I do, like thinking how those get passed on. It's going to be neat. Plus, oh man, do you know why I obsess over my legacy? Do you know why I document everything? Because I know I'm good. And when you know you're good, both in your skill and in your heart, you're not scared of the camera. And so it matters to me because I care about my legacy, not about the short-term money. Everybody's so worried about tomorrow that it doesn't allow them to see what's actually happening here. And that's why I always recommend people spending time with older people, retirement home. I'm a big fan because you get to see regret and resentment up close, and it starts to help you frame up a life. And I did something very weird. I don't talk about this a lot publicly, and you guys know a lot about me. I spent so much time with old people when I was little. Like from 5 to 13, if I went to a playground and there was like a grandfather visiting, or a grandmother, it wasn't just a grandfather thing, I would literally stop playing and go sit with them and sit on the bench and just ask them random questions. I was a weird-ass kid. But it makes a lot of sense to me now because I'm way more wisdom-oriented than my energy acts. And my energy is so micro-fast and intense and alpha and male and competitive, but when you start peeling away, it's very obvious why it matters to me. I'm only about my legacy. I'm only about what everybody here says behind my back. You got it. Let's do it. Here we go. Hey, how are you?
What a day. We're finished.
All done.
Had a sneaky little Q&A with Janine Ellis, as you would have seen.
And I was completely naive in business, which actually became a strength. A strength because I didn't put barriers on what I could and couldn't do. I just went for it.
Yes.
It's got the question with the Gary.
Yes. The question man today, asking all the questions.
It was such a good day. Met a few people that have seen our content.
They have.
It's a good day. Now we're going to go to Taco Bell.
Bill.
Taco Bell. He's loving it. He's loving it. Thanks, lad.
Taco Bell sounds great.
Taco Bell. Yeah, so it's been a good day. People have been following our content, Daniel. They must have seen that we're coming.
They're here for a selfie. Wow. Maybe Gary V's here.
That's a lot of tacos.
Thing on there.
This is the aftermath, Daniel. It's good. It's good, yeah?
You have a great night. Bye.
It's freaking delicious. Pretty sweet, yeah? So I wanted to fill in this little part of the Seeperside episode to give you a little bit of context as to, there's probably only going to be once in a lifetime opportunity that I'll be able to get to ask the one and only Gary V a question in real life. And I wanted to give you a bit of context as around to why I chose to ask that question, because me and Dan, funnily enough, were going through some question scenarios on the way down, and I was just lucky enough that got picked out of a crowd of 1,000 people to ask a question. But essentially, it all stemmed back to when I really got curious about my grandfather, and I wrote this book, The Diary of a Success-Driven Kid, on Friday, the 31st of October, 2014 at 8:56 a.m. This is why I love documenting the dates and times and locations of when I started writing. And that was when I started to get really curious about the death of my grandfather. And I suppose it started this idea of transgenerational thinking, as Amy informed me of the other day, which is a nice big word or term for simply thinking about something in the context bigger than your life, transgenerational. So I think it's really important sometimes that you look backwards on maybe your DNA, like your grandparents or your great-grandparents, and get curious about your ancestry and where you came from, because I think that is transgenerational, looking backwards to give you context about what makes up you. Like, think about this. You carry your grandparents' DNA, like part of them is in you, and that will give you some insight maybe into the way that you think and develops further self-awareness. Now, the reason why I asked Gary that question, because I came across Gary V in, I think, probably 2016, so a couple of years after this. And then I only just finished listening to his audiobook, at the start of this year. And towards the end, it's not in the book, it's only in the audiobook, as Gary told me when I got my photo with him. This is why he loves doing audiobooks, because he throws in extra pieces. But essentially at the end, as you heard in the question, that he quickly threw in this comment about that he never got to meet his grandparents, or I think it was his grandfathers, and how that may have played a part in the way that he wants to document things for his kids. And honestly, when I heard that, literally it smacked me in the face in a good way, because I was like, shit, that's exactly the way that I think about this. I so want to make my kids' proud. I so want to give them context. I so want them to be able to have a very clear because I've done a lot of research this year about my ancestry, coming from Prussia, and spent a lot of time in Brandenburg before they relocated to Rosewood and Ipswich and all this sort of stuff, right? And that gives me a bit of context of what they're like and what sort of jobs they did and professions, and it gave me a little bit more awareness about myself. But I want to give my kids, Alyssa and Nora's kids and their kids, some really clear indication that great-great-grandfather Steve Clayton was just like this. And my hope is when they do a bit of transgenerational thinking, it gives them self-awareness about why they maybe tick in a certain way. And I hope that helps them in the future to show more care, more empathy, more gratitude, more love, just understand people at a level of depth. And I want to leave you with this. This is a longer seat beside. I want to give you some content here. I honestly think that so few people get it. And Gary didn't really answer this, but at the end of my question, I said, why do you think so few people get this transgenerational stuff? Like, why aren't people thinking about their kids, or thinking about their great-great-great-great-grandparents? I think it's maybe because we spend so much time thinking about ourselves. And perhaps, my intuition says that maybe that's the problem, that we focus all our energy and effort and attention on ourselves rather than some bigger picture thinking for self-awareness, but also making sense of why we work really hard and why we do what we do now. Because truth be told, I'll probably never be able to meet my great-great-grandkids. But I hope that they're watching this right now in the same way that Gary's pumped by that. And so the reason I asked the question was it gave me further validation that the people that think with depth are the ones that think about stuff bigger than themselves. And that's what I want to leave you with.